Welcome to Vegas Valley H2O, a show dedicated to informing you about water in our desert community. I'm John Castanino. It's easy to take for granted that when you turn on that tap, water shows up time and time again, and I could spend this whole show and beyond telling you about the infrastructure like this that you don't see that provides that water and makes our water system one of the most reliable in the country. But we all see the situation at Lake Mead, so we'll continue to tell you how conservation has to take center stage. In this episode, summertime is here. Triple-digit temps mean water demands will go up, but if you use too much water on your landscape, you could be hit with a new excessive use charge. We'll explain. Many people ask, why should we continue to conserve when we get such a small portion of the water in Lake Mead? We'll tap the truth and examine this topic. And okay, we'll take a break from conservation, a short break, to show you some of the fascinating technology used by the Southern Nevada Water Authority to protect our infrastructure and keep the water flowing out of your tap without any interruptions. To kick us off, if you're someone that doesn't look at your water bill or monitor your water usage closely, it's really important you do so this summer, or it could end up costing you. We all know summertime heat in Vegas can be demanding. It means more air conditioning. It means more swimming. And more hydrating. But use more water outdoors in pools and on large patches of grass during the summer months that now carries some risk to it. If you use too much, you'll get hit with the new excessive use charge. Triple-digit heat is nothing new to those who call Southern Nevada home, and the mandatory seasonal watering restrictions for summer reflect that, with watering for your outdoor landscape allowed any day except Sunday. But did you know outdoor watering from homeowners accounts for a staggering 60% of our total water usage? To help conserve our biggest water demand, the Las Vegas Valley Water District has enacted an excessive use charge focused on the valley's heaviest water users.
The excessive use charge is really designed to change the habits of the top 10% highest water users. And oftentimes these residents have large amounts of grass and very large pools, and sometimes more for aesthetic purposes than actual function and use. Many of these homeowners are using more water in 1 month than the average homeowner uses in a year.
But anyone who doesn't pay attention to their outdoor watering habits in summer can get hit with the excessive use charge. It's a fee of $9 per 1,000 gallons for customers who use water beyond the summer excessive use threshold of 28,000 gallons in a month. The full details can be found on lvvwd.com. For example, if you use 38,000 gallons in one of the summer months, you'll pay an excessive use charge on that 10,000 gallons over the threshold, $90, and that $90 fee is in addition to the normal charge for each 1,000 gallons of water used. It can add up in a hurry.
People who are just accustomed to showering their lawns with a lot of water, especially during the summertime, may get hit with the excessive use charge this summer. And that may cause some serious sticker shock because their bill could double or even triple. Some of the best ways to avoid an excessive use charge is to really get your water management under control. And this includes things like following the mandatory watering restrictions, replacing grass that you only walk on to mow with water-smart landscaping, find and fix leaks in and around your home, and turning off your irrigation clock when it rains, especially in the summer when we have monsoon season.
Your plants and trees on drip irrigation should be watered only 2 or 3 days a week in the summer months of May through August. If you have grass, you can water it up to 6 days, 12 minutes max per day. Water before 11 a.m. or after 7 p.m. to avoid times when our summer heat is the most intense.
Water-smart plants and trees that use drip irrigation can really survive our summer heat here and still look beautiful and help you avoid the excessive use charge. And we're still offering a rebate to change out your unused grass with a landscape that's a better fit for our desert climate.
The Southern Nevada Water Authority offers up to $3 a square foot to convert grass to desert-friendly landscaping. Details at snwa.com.
Do you believe that we send all of our water to California? or that resorts, golf courses, and new construction use an oversized portion of our water resources? Well, there's several myths about water use in Southern Nevada that are out there, especially on social media. We're here to set the record straight and to give you the facts. It's time to tap the truth. Hi, I'm Colby Pellegrino, Deputy General Manager of Resources for the Southern Nevada Water Authority. And our topic for this edition of Tap the Truth is, why should we conserve when we only get 2% of the river and California uses everything anyways? What difference does it make? So when we talk about water on the Colorado River, it's true that when the Colorado River was allocated, Nevada gets a mere 1.8% of all of the water allocated on the river. But that 1.8% fuels 70% of the state of Nevada's economy. And the more wisely we use our water here, the more economic security and viability we have for this community. When we talk about what's happening in other states, it's important that we remember the challenges on the Colorado River are huge, and that none of the neighboring states or countries are using water in a manner that's not permissible by law. The laws and agreements that govern the Colorado River were created a century ago. They were about reclaiming the West for agriculture, and our oldest, most senior water rights on the river are agriculture. And in any given year, up to 80% of the water used on the Colorado River does go to agriculture. But in order to meet the challenges that climate change is posing upon this river, everyone needs to reduce their use by 20 to 30%. That's a reduction that cannot be borne by any single water user or any single sector. Everyone must do their part to use less water. We're using less water in the same way that Phoenix and LA are all implementing their various methods of conservation to ensure that their water use stays sustainable as well. And that's how we tap the truth. For more information about the most popular water myths in the Valley and the real truth about them, find us on YouTube by searching SNWA Video.
Alright, so yeah, we're inside the reservoir, and one of the primary functions of this ROV inspection is to monitor the corrosion of the pump intake piping, and in other cases the valves that we have inside the reservoirs. And in each of these reservoirs and forebays we install sacrificial anodes that help protect the piping, the valves, etc. And what those do is instead of the pipes or valves or whatever infrastructure we have inside the reservoirs or forebays corroding, it corrodes those anodes instead. And so we have an inspection schedule that we follow, and we'll put the ROV inside each reservoir or forebay in like a 5-year rotation essentially, and that's how we monitor the corrosion. And for the most part anodes last that 5 years, and then each time the divers go in they'll replace them. And then we'll also look at the floor itself, and that'll help us figure out if the reservoirs need to be cleaned, and if they do, we use the divers for that as well. And they will come in with the pumps that they have, and it's essentially like cleaning a pool, just a lot bigger pool. This ROV is pretty crucial to us being able to protect the infrastructure that we have in the reservoirs, and it makes our work much more efficient with the divers allowing us to not only protect the infrastructure but to conserve the money that we're spending to do so.
With 2 decades of drought and federally mandated water cuts to southern Nevada, using less water is critical. To achieve additional conservation and respond to federal water cuts, the Las Vegas Valley Water District has made changes to residential water rates affecting nearly half of customers and high water users. Manage your water bill by reducing outdoor water use and following seasonal watering restrictions. Learn more and use the water bill estimator at lvvwd.com to see how rate changes could affect you. This message is sponsored by LVVWD, aired in partnership with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Summertime is really our harshest season. Because of the heat, it's really hard on us, but it's also really hard on our landscape. So in this segment, we want to give you some tips on kind of how to monitor your landscape and kind of help it basically to survive through the heat that we have. So in the summertime, water demand increases significantly. And so for you to help manage your water in your landscape, the best tool you have is choosing the right type of plants. So if you're putting in a new landscape, definitely look for more of the desert adapted or even the native type plants. But if you have existing plants, maybe some of them are struggling, you kind of want to replace them, you kind of want to refresh your landscape, again, look towards the desert type of plants, because those are the ones that kind of survive better with our heat, but also use less water. And so that's really critical, obviously, is to kind of reduce the amount of water we use, but still have a really healthy and sometimes lush landscape. So the really critical tool that you have to help you manage your landscape is how you irrigate. And it's really critical in the summertime. First of all, if you have a drip system or a spray system for grass, the earlier the better. So if you can water and you can start watering at even 3, 4 a.m., it's a lot better because you lose less water to evaporation. If it's kind of windy, you're not having water go all over the place. So the water really gets to the roots of the plants. And so that's kind of the key tip, is to water really early on your irrigation system. The other tool that you can kind of use is hand watering. So sometimes if you just have some plants that are really struggling, instead of increasing the irrigation system to water everything, use a hose and hand water some of those specific plants. And then you just run it for 20, 30 minutes. You kind of sit around, you monitor it. You don't want to just turn it and leave because there's a lot of water coming out. But again, it's a really good tool to kind of help some of those plants that are struggling without increasing watering throughout the landscape. So another important thing to remember is just how much you water in the summertime. So although we allow up to 6 days a week, for a drip system, typically you can get by with watering 3 to 4 days a week. And in fact, if you have desert type of plants, you can even get by with twice a week. So even though you can do 6, you don't need to. Now, if you have grass, it's a whole other issue, and sometimes you will need to water 5 or 6 days. But just keep that in mind, that you don't need to water the full amount, especially with a drip system. So hopefully all these tips kind of give you some ideas and tools that will help you kind of manage your landscape through the summer. Again, because it is the harshest season, it's the one that you really have to kind of stay on top of, checking your irrigation system and really monitoring your plants to see that everything is healthy.
Good morning. We're out at the Las Vegas Wash within the Clark County Wetlands Park this morning, and we are trapping small mammals and rodents. I am a biologist for the Southern Nevada Water Authority, and we are doing a small mammal survey to check to see how healthy the ecosystem is here in the Las Vegas Wash. The Las Vegas Wash is a vital component of our water management in Las Vegas, and we're out here today to ensure that our water delivery to the residents of Las Vegas doesn't come at the expense of the hundreds of species of wildlife that utilize this unique resource, being water in the middle of the Mojave Desert. So we are studying all the different types of rodent species. These are key components to a healthy ecosystem. And they kind of bridge the medium between the plants and insects to the higher trophic levels. and the larger animals that depend on these species as a food base. So this morning we're out here collecting Sherman traps to sample the different types of rodents that use the Las Vegas Wash. We'll set these traps at night and we'll come back first thing in the morning and we'll see what sort of animals that we've caught. It's got a little spring-loaded trap door and it holds the rodents nice and safe inside until we can come let them out, and we'll identify the species, we'll identify the sex of the rodent and weigh it, and then we'll release it back into the environment.
So these guys are cute. It's a Merriam's kangaroo rat.
So this is the third small rodent survey that we've done at the Las Vegas Wash. It's been about 10 years and we've done lots and lots of revegetation since that time. So the point of this survey is to see if the revegetation efforts that we're doing is improving the small mammal populations here on the Las Vegas Wash.
Celebrating Las Vegas's vibrant past with a focus on our region's sustainable future, the Springs Preserve features more than 2.5 miles of trails to explore, an 8-acre desert-adapted botanical garden, 2 museums, animal habitats, interactive exhibits, and special events. Located on 180 acres in the heart of Las Vegas, there's always something new to discover at the Springs Preserve.
Did you know that 90% of our drinking water comes from the Colorado River, one of the cleanest water sources in North America? My name is Xiaoping Zhou. I am a senior hydrologist for the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Protecting environments and deliver clean, safe water to the millions of people in Las Vegas Valley is one of my most important jobs. One way we do that is by cleaning the water after we take it out of the Lake Mead, the reservoir in which it's stored, before delivering it to your home. I know that you probably don't like tests very much, but as a hydrologist focusing on water quality, tests are a very important part of my job. Before sending water to your home, we must test water to ensure it is safe to drink. We also test water in Lake Mead and the Las Vegas Wash to make sure it's safe for wildlife. Some of the things we regularly measure to determine that water is safe are dissolved oxygen, temperature, pH, and the conductivity. Some of you may be scratching your head after hearing me say oxygen. Is there really oxygen in our water? There absolutely is. It's just dissolved, similar to the oxygen in your bloodstream that keep you alive, flowing from your lungs to your organs. That's how fish are able to live underwater. Their gills filter the oxygen from the water is then carried to their organs. Healthy water has enough dissolved oxygen to keep the fish and other organisms that live there alive. I mentioned that we also measure temperature. Warm water holds less oxygen than cold water. Another important item or parameter that we measure is called conductivity, which is a measurement of the amount of the minerals, including salt, that are in the water. In fresh water, like Lake Mead, too much salt can be hazardous to the creatures that live there. High levels of conductivity can also indicate that water has traveled a long distance, experienced high evaporation, or being contaminated by some kind of a pollutant. The last parameter I want to talk about is called pH. pH measures the amount of the hydrogen present in the liquid on a scale of 1 to 14. Solutions with more hydrogen are called acidic. A high acid level is between 1 and 4. Acidic solutions closer to 1 can cause severe burns to our skin. Solutions with less hydrogen are called basic, with a highly basic solution measuring from about 10 to 14. Strangely enough, solutions with a pH near 14 can also cause severe burns. The scale is logarithmic, meaning decrease of just 1 makes the solution 10 times more acidic, while decrease of 2 makes 100 times more acidic. Either way, too much acid or too much base are both very bad for rivers and lakes. Healthy lakes and rivers have a pH that is close to middle between acidic and basic. We call that neutral or a value of 7. To better understand pH, I have a few things here that we can measure. A Coke, some leftover morning coffee, and Las Vegas wash water. To help us measure the pH of each of these solutions, I have an instrument here called a hydrolab. On one end of the hydrolab, we have those probes that are exposed to the solution and analyze specific parameters, one specialized probe for each. On the other end, we have a computer screen that displays the data. Okay, let's take a measurement of the Coke first. Where did you think Coke is on the pH scale? More acidic or more basic? Can you estimate a number? How close was your estimate? If you have ever had a dentist tell you to drink less soda or juice, it's because the higher acid can eat away at the productive covering on your teeth, causing cavities. Now let's take a look at the coffee and make some more estimates. Did anyone guess that would be higher than 7? Liquids with a higher pH are not usually things we drink and include chemicals like ammonia and bleach. Finally, let's measure the Las Vegas wash water. Any more guesses? I bet you guys are getting pretty good at this. So, it is pretty close to neutral. It looks like the wash has a healthy pH level, which is good considering it's a home for more than 900 different species of wildlife. Now you have an idea of what hydrology is and why taking measurement is so important to understand how healthy of our water system are. We have to collect and analyze water sample regularly from strategic locations in order for us to better evaluate and protect our water quality. Now you have an idea of what hydrology is and why taking measurement is so important to understand how healthy our water systems are. We have to collect and analyze water sample regularly from strategic locations in order for us to better evaluate and protect our water quality.
Las Vegas Wash is super important to our community because it is the way that treated wastewater and stormwater from the Las Vegas Valley gets to Lake Mead. Returning that to Lake Mead is how we obtain our return flow credits, which extend our water supply by about 75%. So everything that we use indoors is recycled through those plants and returned back to Lake Mead via the wash.
So I'm pleased to present this $6 million federal appropriation from Congress. This is one of what we call the community-directed projects that we were able to submit on behalf of the needs of our community to the Southern Nevada Water Authority that will go towards the construction of these up to 10 weirs that you're explaining to me that we need in order to improve the wetlands and the water supply, which helps to serve the water needs to 90% of our residents in Southern Nevada.
We just met with Congressman Horsford, who led the effort to obtain $6 million in federal funding towards the Lower Las Vegas Wash Weir project, which is a project that will build 6 additional weirs, that the Water Authority will build those weirs and stop erosion in the lower wash. The Lower Las Vegas weirs protect existing capital infrastructure like the North Shore Bridge and Lake Las Vegas Dam and all the other weirs that we've constructed in the upper portion of the wash. The weirs also protect water quality because we stop the erosion and enhance wetlands in the lower wash, and that will protect our primary source of water, which is Lake Mead.
People ask me all the time, what are we doing to address the drought? And this is one of many projects that is being done by our local leaders, and we have to do everything that we can to mitigate the impacts of the drought. Clearly we can't make more snow or get more rain, but what we can do is build the infrastructure to manage it, and the Southern Nevada Water Authority is doing a phenomenal job of coming up with the plans and the resources to do that, and some of the federal funding that we've secured will help supplement the local dollars that are going towards these projects as well.
And that will do it for this edition of Vegas Valley H2O. If you want more content about how the Southern Nevada Water Authority has and continues to protect and sustain our water supply here in Southern Nevada, that's easy. Just search SNWA Video on YouTube. We've got hundreds of videos covering dozens of topics, including more Tap the Truth segments that you saw earlier, which dispel the misinformation circling the valley about our water supply. Thanks for watching Vegas Valley H2O. I'm John Castanino, and thanks for staying water smart.